Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Twister and this is unscripted video that I'm writing with the one take. Little bit about me, if you first time on my channel. I'm originally from Ukraine, living in the States for 21 years, have degree in the film school. That's why I really love television, TV shows, movies, and I love talking about that. And this TV show from it's a perfect about talking because the characters all the time they come and say, "We need to talk. We need to talk. I know you wanna to talk. Talk to me right now." The same way that Victor was talking to the Jasper. So, um, what kind of video is that? If you watching the show, if you want to talk to someone about it, maybe no one around you watching it, this is not going to be let's go break down every Eastern egg and let's try to make a connection. No, it's not that kind of video. This is more about atmospheric presence of this show, what it does. For me, this TV show, it's perfect show for the binging. When you have a time and you have like a whole season, you sit down and watch it from beginning to the end. This is the perfect show for that, especially around that spooky Halloween season. But watching from week to week and sometimes not getting answers, it sometimes can be tedious. Nevertheless, the atmosphere of this show, it's absolutely beautiful, especially in this TV show. Um, Today's episode, I'm turning off in my head like screenwriter. I'm telling like, okay, shut up, and turning on my cinematographer, and I'm like, okay, you can enjoy it because my screenwriter saying the story of this episode was terrible because they gave more clues, but they do not give answers. We have some conversations that could be easily cut out. We have again beaten around the bush again and again and again and again. We see Victor with the puppet, but we never get even a single word of that puppet from Jasper. Nothing. There is a moments that really anger me and I cannot do anything about it. But in the same time, I have moments that I'm enjoying visual aspect of the show, especially in this episode. They some of the scenes we're going to be talking about today, um, those fog scenes, they was absolutely amazing and beautiful. If you're curious my how I grade those episodes. Really, first one in the season 3, I gave 10 because so far for me, episode 1 was the best. It's perfect pilot episode of the season. Of course, you can say no pilot. Can be only one, only in the beginning, only in the first season, but each season has own beginning and own end as well. It can be a pilot as well in the season. And opening up, bringing people back to the story, telling them what's happening, reminding about the characters, gave enough action, enough answers that people was waiting to get answered all the way from the previous season. That was everything spot on. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So far, episode 1 of season 3, my favorite. Also, I really liked episode 4. That's when ambulance arriving in this small town in Fromville, and that reaction of the cop of a reunion. I know it's a little bit like cheating in the TV shows. Every time, if you want to involve some kind of emotions, if you want to invoke those emotions, you need to give new characters to the known situation. And that's what we have. We have Cop Lady, we bring Tabitha back, we bring Victor's father over there, and given the reunion, That's always work, and it worked for me. So far, this two my most favorite episodes in this season. And I know there has been um, leaks on the last episodes, but I'm trying to dodge them. So I beg you, please, with the cherry on the top. If you read those, if you know what's happening, please do not write that in the comments, because I'm trying to read all of the comments and trying to answer it. My goal with my channels, who knows, I have Russian channel in Russian language. I have almost 28,000 subscribers there, and the, how I'm making the video, it's more social platform, place where people can communicate. I start different subjects, what we talking about, and we trying to escalate, trying to find, dig it through, and build theories around that. And it will be a little cheating if someone already know what's going to happen. You might spoil the fun for the rest of us. So please, if you know the spoilers, maybe do not write them, or at least write like spoiler and do space, and then write it this way. If someone's scrolling through the comments, they will not see the spoiler right away. You know, spoilers, they kind of like those naughty pictures that people could send to you. If you saw it once, you cannot erase that from your memory. So please do not be that person who sent unwanted pics. So, okay. This episode named These Fragile Lives, and I understand the meaning of this, because we seen different lives who's crumbling apart. Main character who comes to my head right now, it is Fatima, because she really doesn't know what's going on. She believes maybe she has a baby inside, maybe not, and she willing to accept the fact everything happening in her head. uh, Also, I really like the scene with the Elgin. I thought it was perfect. So, if you do not have enough time to sit and listen through everything, that's it. You get my summary of whole episode. But if you have more time, you're more than welcome. Uh, Go with me through the different moments of that episode. Okay. And again, every single video, I believe in making it with the one take. This way you see all of my mistakes. Of course, you understand English, not my first language, but I'm trying to overcome that fear and that barrier in my head, and I'm trying to come here and just build up the audience who will enjoy just communication, pure communication with the pure emotions. And if I will mess up somewhere, you will see it. So um, we got exactly to the point where we left off in the previous episode. I know some of the people were saying the ultrasound when they was doing that, they was searching in the inside of the kidney, and of course there's going to be no baby in the kidney. But still, it was funny that they even was looking in the wrong place. But main question what we have right now, does this machine just cannot see it what is going on there? We know that old lady, she sensed the baby inside of the Fatima's belly, because she said like, I had so many kids, I have grandkids, when I see the girl I know she's pregnant. Also, we know she took a pregnancy test. So she's supposed to be pregnant. It is or not, but why machine not showing? Is it some kind of ghost baby, or its baby exists only in a parallel universe? Why the test would show that she's pregnant? I heard, again, you can correct me, ladies, if you know it for sure. I heard that sometimes when girl wants to have baby so much, her body could release so many hormones that can influence the pregnancy test, and it might show false positive. I don't know if that's true or not. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that was funny. They trying to find it, they couldn't find it anything. I loved the actress of Fatima in this episode, especially in this scene. You can see that fear in her, and when you know it what's happening with you, but doctors and people who loves you, they do not believe you, and that scares her, and you can feel that. I think if we're talking about the acting abilities of actors of this TV show, not all of them is Oscar nomination role, or of course the Oscars for the movies. None of them is playing like they need to receive Emmy award, but some of the actors playing really good for not high budgeted TV show. And Fatima, it's one of the actresses who I've really enjoyed watching it, and she's shown such a different spectrum of emotions. We saw her happy when she was celebrating her anniversary. We saw her breakdown, and that's the breakdown the her husband Ellis talking to her about, because the night when that bus arrived and she couldn't save that couple, she broke down. We could see her mental breakdown, and she played that well. All that fear every time when she trying to find out what she can eat, when she knows that's wrong eating rotten vegetables, but she's doing it. So if I will need to put like golden star next to some actors from this show, Fatima would definitely be one of those actresses who I'm enjoying watching it. Boyd, yes, but he's fairly famous and he has so many roles behind his belt. Even he played in Lost. That's the TV show from where I remember him playing Michael there. And again, he's doing everything what Grandpa's supposed to do. He's supposed to yell. It's like, I wanna know what kind of baby. Figure it out, what it's going to be. He like, I don't care what kind of skin color the baby's going to be, if it's going to look more like me, if it's going to look more like Fatima, doesn't care. I just want that baby not look like that monster smiley face, you know. And he, of course, he's worried and he yelling at her. And I loved Christy in this scene. She's like typical doctor who's trying to calm down the crazy relative. Uh, if you've been in hospitals, if you been around the doctors, that's like Karen way do not work in a hospital. The trying to bully in the doctor, it's not gonna work, because doctors knows the way to just like push back and put those crazy relatives back to the spot. Interesting moment, they show us the rain again. I'm not sure if that's really make difference, if maybe just for the day when they was filming over there, there was raining, there was that after that such a beautiful fog, because this is not made by visual effects team. It's not fake rain. So I feel like this like crew decide to use this element and just add it to the TV show. They're like, okay, it looks good, let's add it. We need, like on our schedule, we need to be filming it, let's add it. But if that is scripted, then do we need to take into consideration, okay, is the weather changing again in this place? We know the weather playing a huge role. We know that first it was getting cold, the snow is going, and now it's rain, and we know the fog is forming when the air is cold, but the ground is warm and wet. So is it storytelling tool or just a lucky shooting day? Never mind my cat, please, because when I'm filming the videos, sometimes she feels like she needs to be part of it and uh, gave few words. So sometimes she could just come on in and sit and chill, and sometimes she trying to be really vocal. So if you hear some meowing around, don't get scary. Don't get scared. It's not a ghost cat. It's just my cat trying to be next to me. So, what's your thoughts? What's that train? Is it just lucky day for crew and they decide to use the fog after that rain, or do you think it's supposed to show some kind of change in the weather? Opening credits, again, in the opening credits we see this music box, and of course it has a meaning. Every time some kind of song is playing, it trying to deliver some kind of message, and not surprised that's why they adding this in the opening credits. Everything what makes, even what I really like in the opening credits, that the pancakes that they eating, and we know that Ethan, he wanted to have pancakes, and Kenny's mom was making the pancakes for him. That scene, you know how there is organizations who's trying to protect the animals. I'm curious if there is any organization that will protect puppets, because I feel like Victor is really abusing that poor guy. First, screaming, yelling at him at his room, which is scared his dad. We need to understand also for Victor's dad, he came for this reunion, but he probably, it's hard to accept the fact his boy, he been alone for such a long period of time, he didn't get chance to grow up, he didn't get chance to communicate with other adults and be different, wouldn't didn't get chance to mature. That's why he stays in his childlike mind of Seth. And of course, at some moment he felt like, oh, maybe would be better if Habitat didn't found me. Maybe if I just let it be like it is and just think he is dead, then seeing him to be crazy. Because how would you react if your son just trying demand screaming at the door and telling like tell me, give me the answers? But also interesting moment that we should probably like put a check mark. They didn't explain in this episode, and I'm really mad about that. But later we will see how Victor going to grab this doll and go to Sarah to go in a basement, because like I need in the basement. That's the place where he saw previous owner of the Jasper doll was able to communicate. What if it's like um, I lived in a small town before in the Crimea where not many radio stations you can catch because of a lot of mountains. But when you go high in the mountains and you turn it on, you can catch like so many stations. What if there is also some kind of ghost frequencies or communication with other world, that this doll can work only in a specific spots? I know this doll show up for Jade and laughed at him in his room, but it was spiritual projection, let's say, because it was not in the body. We saw this doll in a body in a caves. Now Victor brought it in, and he saw it how it was stuck in back in that basement. So maybe if he will place right on the same spot, maybe that's the moment place where it's connected. Maybe the owner of the doll find out the way communicating to outside world. Again, I'm and for the TV shows, I can accept any kind of world. I can believe in elves, I can believe in dragons, I can believe in magic. But in a real life, I do not believe, of course, in that stuff. I do not believe in the ghosts in a real life and everything. But in TV show, if the story building up the world with the ghosts, I can believe in the ghosts in the TV show. But I would like them to explain this. If Fromville, that's the place where the ghosts appear, because we seen lady in a kimono coming and those Asian robes talking to Elgin. She seems like a ghost. If ghosts exist, they need to explain that. How exactly? Of course, we see how for Boyd he talking to the ghost of priest. We see how Jade he seen the ghost of barman Thomas, right, Tom? But in the same time, does they really are ghosts or just projection of their mind, getting the image of those people? So this show didn't outline that yet. We do not know for 100% that's the ghost, because when Jade talking to uh, barman, right, he saying like, I hear only what my brain is telling me. Same thing as Boyd talking with the priest. It's pretty much his conscious talking to him. They do not deliver some kind of new message or message from spiritual world. They kind of like projections. But if we thinking the ghosts exist and ghost can talk through this doll, like those Ouija boards or Annabelle, or why it would work only in that basement? That question that I call you guys to come and brainstorm on it. So, waiting to you in the comments. And why this doll? Who is going to be talking through this Jasper? And did the owner of the Jasper originally living in the basement left the doll while he was carrying with him nothing, and but at some moment he left in the exact spot in that basement, and doll start talking to him and explaining him about this place. Okay, this part of episode was my favorite, when the Polaroid printing the picture and sending him to special basement. All that we already talked about, how she's confused, she doesn't know if she's willing to accept the fact, maybe that's in her head. This moment, cinematographically, excuse me, I loved it. I loved it because filming in a fog, back in the film school, I remember it's not easy task to do, especially with the lighting. And this moment is my absolutely favorite. This is for director of photography, get the shot like this, it's just dream come true. You can see the house in the fog, and then because this is cannot be practical effect, it cannot be special effect, it just happened. You can tell it was just a foggy day, and I love it. And I love how this duo between them, we always see this struggle in power. They always trying to see who is wearing the bigger balls, who is wearing the pants in the city. Because Boyd, he's a sheriff in the town, but Donna, she is leader of that community house, and they kind of like two leaders in that little small community. Of course, it's allusion on so many different ways. Even with a small community, they show us there can be a system that build up one way and build up another way, but they still communicating with each other. It's gave the another layer of um, relationship in society, and that's interesting to see in that little micro world. And she delivered the message. She like bold with him, like, I'm sorry, but if whatever growing inside of her baby belly, we got excited, if it's a monster or whatever, she cannot stay in our house. Maybe she doesn't need to go right away, but you guys need to think for the other place because she doesn't feel safe. She worry about the people who live in the house. Uh, all the scene in that little village, I love it. How it's shot, the colors, the feeling, everything so good. But the most important moment we need to like pay attention in this scene, what they talking about. Someone is walking at night, but it is not like a monsters in the Fromville. That's the message. They said it like one of the lines, one of the things. But I believe this is really important part. They trying to place that in the mind of audience. The monsters or whatever is living in this village, it's not the same monsters that live in a Fromville because they act different, they react different. Uh, Good reunion. I always like when people trying to find the answers and they get together and actually getting to the answers. I always love it. Um, we can skip probably most of those. Um, we see the bounding between Julie and Randall, and I wish they bring Mariel there too, and they all talk that through because we know that Julie, she can hear and feel the screams. Randall, he saw the cicadas. He can hear them, he can see them. We need to find out what exactly Mariel experienced and how it's connected. Can they multiply each other feelings and bringing them all the way to those arches in the end. It was so cool, but I feel cheated. They so many times in this show, like Boyd and Kenny, like we going to the caves, we brought a bunch of alcohols to burn them. They came to the door, they came to the cave, they stayed there, and they talked and left. Here is the same thing. We seen really nice build up development. Like she's reminiscing about that. Oh, I didn't get chance driving the car, and he like, I'm going to teach you. We see that bounding, and we know there is factors that unite them. But when they get to those arcs, they're like, no, no, we need to go back because it's dark. We doesn't need to touch anything. We do not go there. And Julie's like, you feeling it what I'm feeling. It's this place is calling us. They still have attachment to it. So all that storyline, it made me a little bit upset that they toyed with us. Similar how they toyed with Victor. This part of episode probably my favorite. It was spooky enough, with that clue on a picture, though it seems like it was snowing, but over here there is no snow, but it's still same door. He came into this cage, storage. I remember, if I'm remembering right, the Jade was once over here and he saw the man under the huge rock, the huge boulder. If that's the same place, also waiting in the comments. Interesting, spooky enough. There was a show we was watching recently. It's called Constellation, and there was also a lot of knocking out of the like wooden wardrobes, and it kind of reminded me. And we see how that ghost lady leading Elgin over there. He's finding out the room with the bed. Someone was staying here, and we saw the dead body even there. Some man with a beard, but he got brought here. What this place is going to be, what it needs to be for, again, we will find out later. But somehow this is attached to Elgin and the ghost lady in Asian robes. I think it's called kimono even in English. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like the character of this police lady. When I just finished making a review in Russian language and I went little bit sidetrack about her. Um, it just the cops, they have special moral compass. People who wants to be a cops, they have a need to serve the community. They kind of like knights of our time, because like knights had their own codex. They protect. We do not do harm. We do. It's not just a job. I do not believe. Maybe because I moved to United States, my perception of policemen changed. Maybe because in United States I saw only good cops. I do know the bad cops exist. I do know that. But I was lucky enough to see only the good cops. And for me, uh, I believe in this character. I believe that she is feeling guilty, that he doesn't know when did she got her badge. Boyd saying like what 2-3 days ago, and she didn't say like no, I'm a cop 10 years. No, she didn't answer, but I think he was so close. More likely she is just out of police academy. She got badge and got gun not really long time ago, and here we go. Because of her, the girl is gone. And I believe that she is carrying that weight. Really like that scene between Kenny and her, how she's trying to find the answers. Of course, I would like Kenny and Christy's storyline, but Christy has Mariel, and I think everything is good with them. So maybe Kenny need to move on, and maybe this lady going to be his new romantic line. We'll see. We'll see. But their communication, I like it. How she's like, I need to find the answers. Why do we have travel agencies here? Why do we not have motel? Why we have swimming pool? But why the sheriff police station inside of the post office? Who built this place? She needs these answers. And I like that. I like that even we ask those questions ourselves, but that someone is vocalizing them and someone who lives in the front wheel trying to explain it. It's really cool. In the last episode, I was picking a little bit on Tabitha when she decided to make a scandal, make a scene in the middle of the night. That she trying to play with the Jim's brain, not saying F word. But today, I'm kind of upset with Jim trying to mansplaining everything to Tabitha. You just want to be related to this place, and that's why you feel. And she's like, no, I saw that in my dreams. I've been in this place before. But cinematographically, I loved that scene. I really loved that scene. Walking through the foggy forest and the colors, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this lady probably like, okay, hey, I cannot drive the bus. What should I do? I'm probably gonna run the kitchen. So no more Asian food, but going to be Cajun food. Little change, but maybe I'll paint a little bit. Some, you know, sometimes when the weather is bad, I know by myself, I am all for little good soul food. I I love to go get some Cajun food. Love it. Especially that's a huge plus living in United. I've been 21 years uh, all the time Idaho. But I love it how many cultures in United States and how many different restaurants is here, and it gave me opportunity to try some kitchen like Italian food, Mexican food, Cajun food, all of that. And I know what I like for specific mood, for specific weather, and for the weather like that, when it's cold, rainy, foggy, there is soul food is the best food that exists. Who agree? Say amen. So yeah, she cannot drive the bus anymore, so apparently she wants to run the kitchen now. That we talked about the basement. Sarah, poor Sarah, I just poor girl. She can't win. She's like, I wanna be here by myself and just trying to put together the Christmas toy. No, everyone keep coming to me. So like that scene where we saw that fight for the power, and I like how they found the compromise. She like, I need my gun back. You're like, I'm not giving you gun, but like, okay, you get the gun, but not the bullets, because until I can trust you with them, until I know monsters not going anywhere, until you can handle yourself around monsters, I'm not giving you a weapon. But I like her character. Her character is, she do not annoys me, but I feel like there is finally someone who can challenge the boy's authority. That's what I like about her. That scene we also talked about, where Victor's father feels kind of guilty about the thoughts what he has, and about this dream, that can be a big tricky subject. What exactly she seen in a dream? Did it really happen? Main takeaway we're supposed to get from that scene, that Jade talking about, he's talking about it was wrong. There is no free will. We predestined. In this world, like if you saw the dreams being here while you child, that means you was destined one day be here next to those rocks. That was your fate. And if that's a concept of this TV show, that fatalism, that no matter what you do, you're going to end up right in a spot where fate wrote for you. And but what exactly she saw? Is she reincarnation of that girl, or is that girl was her? Did she saw a real monster, or as a child, like maybe she went there with her parents and she was playing around? I have two kids. I have daughter 18 years old and son 16 years old. And when they was kids, we would play. We would go to Idaho City. It's a historic place, and we would play there. I would be a sheriff or cop trying to catch them, and they would just like, oh, we're running away, and I would catch them and take them to prison, and to play that. And when I would find them and catch them, they would scream same way how the girl screamed in her dream, not because they know I'm going to harm them, but it's part of the game. So it's really hard to understand what exactly that dream she experienced. Is that was a real fear, or it was just memory, or memory of girl she's like rebirth happening. I just used that word, um, reincarnation. If that's what's happening here, or is it her memory? Okay, we'll need to find out. Some people pointed out in the comments before saying the outfit she's wearing, it's really different timeline. But if you go to the historic places, sometimes people like to dress up. We have wigs, medieval wigs, when people, everyone who goes to those events and dressing on like knights or peasants of that time or lords or whatever. So who knows? We'll see. But I love the face of the Jim with all of that. It's like hard to put everything together with all those new theories that his wife. So did I end up here just because she saw the dream in a kid and she always supposed to see that tree and get to that city? So me and kids end up here because of her? That's the question we need to answer. Is everyone in this village chosen? If the same creators who did the Lost working on this, we remember Jacob, the one who used the lighthouse to choose specific people for his island, for his mission. What if the Fromville works exactly the same? What if everyone hand-picked for that mission? We'll see. Oh, lady, that's like really stereotypical in a TV show. If you see someone talks a lot, they gave them so many lines in a dialogue, it's going to be gone really soon. And she's like, okay, I'm old lady, I have a cancer, and I need a good love story. Let me help you guys. That moment was scary when she seen IV making the inflammation, she's thrown up with the water, and her belly, she start looking like those monsters, the monsters who dried out. She start looks like the ghost lady. So she definitely turning. She maybe she's zoning, because this is cannot be physical transformation that fast. She almost looks like that Martin guy who was on the chains in the cage. We'll find out. We'll find out, but it's definitely not physical transformation can happen that fast. You cannot lose all your body fat and tissues and then get it back right away. They do not see it. It's only in her head, but maybe she start to be able to live in the two phases. That's we also talked about this scene. Moment where he tried to steal medicine for Fatima. They show the name, and on the labels it's Thompson, but I don't know if that makes any meaning. Who exactly Thompson? I tried to look in the credits and I couldn't find any character with the name Thompson. This medication could not be from the ambulance, because ambulance normally they do not keep meds in named containers. They have like each pill in a wrapped package, or especially if it's strong painkillers or whatever. So, but that one has the. I'm not sure what exactly they was trying to show with the shot, but normally always if they. That's the rule of cinematography. If you spend time for separate shot, that's mean it's supposed to mean something. So What's your thoughts? Are we supposed to pay attention to name of the medication or name from where it's got, the date? I was trying to zoom in, look in. I only saw the name of the medicine and who belonged to. This was nice scene of patching up between Alice and Boyd because he lost mom. She went crazy. He was worried for that with his worms. He almost lost him. And now losing the Fatima, of course, it's scary for him. And I'm glad the Boyd being a good dad, and I'm glad that's fixing it up. Talked about that. And finally, last scene where she's like, okay, is I'm drawn to those vegetables because it's something in my head or something inside of me craving. Is I'm going crazy or I'm going monster. So, and this scene, bye bye, nice lady who got stopped. And interesting thing, her last words was, she didn't say, oh, I hate you, why did you kill me? I just finally was able to fight the pain from the cancer. She didn't say that, or she didn't say, oh, you need the fresh blood, drinking it from my chest. She didn't say that. She being rational, she said, like, you need to run. Because this lady, she didn't felt anger towards her. She understood that she will be in trouble right now. If they will find out what she did, they definitely going to kick her out of this community house. And the scary moment, of course, Alice saw her in this. And will he be able to go over that? Will he be able to forget that? Can he just erase this from his memory and keep going with the same life, how same love that he had for her, or he will be scared of her now? That's the big question, and I guess we'll find out hopefully next week. So that was my review. This is more analysis. I know there is so many on YouTube. It's huge. Community is huge. From community is huge. My goal is not make a video for 5 minutes with all Eastern eggs. I'm sure you can find that one anywhere else. My goal is, if you making the meal, if you go for a walk and you watched episode and you want hear somebody else opinion on that episode, not in the 2 words, but deep dive inside, laid out with the different characters, different cinematography, maybe tricks, maybe play with some theories, maybe talk about some actors or whatever going on around the show, or what thought it waking up in you. You're in a perfect spot. So if that's channel what you was looking for, subscribe. I will really appreciate it, and don't be shy and write something in the comments. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye bye.